Hello students, hope you all are well and doing your studies regularly. In this video, I will be giving line by line explanation of the poem A Thing of Beauty written by John Keats. Before starting the poem, I would like to tell you about the poet. John Keats was born in London on 31st October 1795. The eldest of Thomas and Frances Jennings Keats. 4 children. Although he died at the age of 25, Keats had perhaps the most remarkable career of any English poet. He published only 54 poems in 3 slim volumes and a few magazines, but over his short development, he took on the challenges of a wide range of poetic forms. He was one of the main figures of the second generation of Romantic poets, along with Lord Byron and P.B. Shelley. Despite his works having been in publication for only 4 years before his death from tuberculosis at the age of 25 on 23rd February 1821, his poems were not generally well received by critics during his lifetime. His reputation grew after his death, and by the end of the 19th century, he had become one of the most beloved of all English poets. Now about the poem. A Thing of Beauty tells about how nature and its wonder mesmerize us and take away all the sorrow that surrounds us from time to time. The following explanation might aid you in understanding this exceptional piece of work in poetry. Endymion is an epic poem in English. This poem by Keats is based on the Greek mythology of Endymion, the shepherd beloved by the moon goddess Selene. We see an elaboration of the original story, and the moon goddess Selene is named as Cynthia. The poem equates Endymion's original romantic ardor with a more universal quest for a self-destroying transcendence in which he might achieve a blissful personal unity with all creation. Endymion in Greek mythology is the story of a handsome youth who spent much of his life sleeping. There are different views related to Endymion. According to some tradition, Endymion was the king of Elis. Several traditions say that he was offered by Zeus to choose anything he might desire, and Endymion, ordered to remain young forever, chose an everlasting sleep. While some tradition says Endymion's eternal sleep was a punishment given by Zeus because Endymion fell in love with Zeus' wife Hera. Selene was deeply in love with Endymion. Some say Selene had cursed Endymion into everlasting sleep so that she can enjoy him all by herself. Selene's love for Endymion made her visit him every night while he was asleep. But in the poem, Keats emphasizes on Endymion's love for Diana rather than on hers for him. Keats transformed this tale into prose to express the loves that have been felt on imaginative longings. This theme of love is determined in the adventure of the Endymion quest by Diana. In the search for Diana, Endymion falls in love with an earthly maiden, but in the end, Diana and the earthly maiden turn out to be one and the same. Stanza first. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Here the poet is saying that beauty is a heavenly tonic or drink, an endless fountain of nectar. This beauty comes in different forms: a tale, a poem, a play, a lovely object of nature, or the heavenly bodies. It soothes our spirits and gives us good health, sound sleep, and mental peace. It removes sadness from our lives and gives an everlasting joy. A beautiful thing is a source of eternal joy. Its loveliness grows with the passage of time, and its impact never fades away. It is as soothing as a cool shade. It never passes into nothingness. It gives us good health, sound sleep, and mental peace. It provides the beholder with a heaven of tranquility and solace. Now, the second stanza. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways, made for our searching, yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. Here, the poet is saying that man and nature are inseparable. It is the beauty of nature that keeps us attached to this earth. Every morning we collect fresh lovely flowers and prepare garlands. They refresh our moods and we forget our worries for a while. Every person gets a bitter taste of sorrow, suffering, and grief. Disease, disappointments, gives us mental and physical suffering. It is the beautiful things that remove the pall of sadness from our lives and make us happy and hopeful. The author also says that individuals have an attachment to the earthly things. This attachment is such that it has the resemblance of a flowery wreath. Furthermore, there are traps that keep people connected to materialistic things. This connection with materialistic things distracts humans from eternal happiness. This is because the focus of such materialistic people will be on acquiring more and more resources rather than on attaining eternal happiness. The world has a lot of negativity, hatred, and greed. According to the poet, the cause of gloom and sadness is this negativity. Moreover, one can fade away these negative vibes away with the help of beautiful things that surround us. This is because these beautiful things bring nothing but positivity. Now, the third stanza. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make. Against the hot season, the mid forests break, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Here the poet informs us about some beautiful things that are all around us. Beauty is certainly in the eyes of the one who beholds. This means one can see the beauty in anything. Furthermore, the poet talks about the numerous creations of God which we should admire. One such creation is the sun, which provides energy. Moreover, the poet also talks about the beauty of the moon and the natural beauty of the trees. There are various animals around that make our world lively. The pretty flowers like daffodils enhance the liveliness and greenery of the world. Moreover, the flowing streams of water provide refreshment and cooling effect to us in the hot summer season. The forests have plenty of pretty musk rose flowers. Such flowers are a beautiful sight and eyes feel the delight due to them. All such things certainly are things of beauty. Now the fourth stanza, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens' brink. Here the poet also sees beauty in the death of martyrs and legends. The mighty dead are those martyrs who have died bravely for a cause. We honor them by erecting magnificent, grand sculpture in which beauty is seen. If one looks around, there are innumerable beautiful things to notice. They seem to flow immortally as a fountain from the gods above to help the pitiable human beings to cope with the harshness of life. Also, one must not forget the beautiful and inspiring stories of the brave soldiers. These brave soldiers risked and sacrificed their lives in order to protect others. These beautiful things have a resemblance to the fountain of immortality bestowed upon us by God as a gift and a blessing. Such beautiful things are an inspiration for all of us to continue living. They make life worth living. They also help us in maintaining our faith in goodness. Life without these beautiful things would certainly become very hard. In the end, I would like to tell you about the poetic devices used in the poem. First is metaphor, and the following are the examples of metaphor: bower quiet, sweet dreams, wreathing a flowery band, pall, endless fountain of immortal drink, and the list of beautiful things is metaphors and symbols of nature. Second device is alliteration, that is noble natures, cooling covered, and band to bind. Third is imagery, flowery bands, shady boon, clear rills, daffodils in green world, grandeur of domes, cooling covered, endless fountain of immortal drink. Third is symbol, simple sheep. Then next is transferred epithet, gloomy days, unhealthy and over-darkened ways. And the last one is oxymoron, that is mighty dead. Hope my video would have helped you to learn the poem and you will be able to understand it easily. Thank you.